The damage that I have seen out here, you just can't even put into words just how devastating it is. This is that severe weather outlook for today. Coming up, I'll kind of break down the timing of these storms and more of what you can expect when these storms are coming through this afternoon. Unfortunately, Greenfield was in the path of the derecho that came through early this morning, and that is causing some problems for the National Weather Service right now. It is really special, and I mean that moon almost blinding. And since we are in the month of November, this moon is known as the Beaver Moon. And for those of us in South Central Kansas, under a freeze warning until 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's right, we are losing an hour as we're going into tomorrow.
Hannah, what would you do? Would you call in today? Enjoy it?
I'm not really an outdoorsy person, so I'll be here. I'll cover for you if you wanted to.
I'm out.
All right, see you. All right. I'll take over here. Let's take a look at the satellite and radar.
My mom was here a couple of weeks ago. We bought a Christmas tree. I think I'm joining that November 1st crowd. What about you?
My lights are actually already up, and that is because my parents were here and the weather was nice, and they were like, let's put it up. And I was like, sure, let's do it. So I actually had it up a little bit before Halloween. I was that person this year.
You're an early riser and early to the lights, right?
I was, yeah. We are watching some of these clouds make their way out. As we get a little bit more into the morning hours, those clouds will be out of here, looking at mainly sunny skies, but it is going to be chilly throughout the entire day today because we're going to have a little bit of a breeze. So as we go into the afternoon, you can kind of see everyone is on the breezy-ish side here with 20 to almost 30 mile an hour wind gusts. And even though it's not very strong, it's going to have a big impact on the temperatures today. It does relax as we go into the evening hours, but since it does last all day, we're looking at a wind chill all day. So we'll go into the afternoon and early evening hours. I kind of paused it right where we feel the warmest. 34 degrees in Wichita. That's how warm things are going to feel for today. Even though our highs are getting up into the 40s, that breeze strong enough to make us all almost feel like in the 30s throughout the entire day today. Cools down, and then as we go into Monday morning, the coldest air of the season, most of us feeling like the teens, Northwest Kansas feeling like the single digits as you start out Monday. So get those coats out. You will definitely need them as you are heading out to work on Monday morning. And we're not the only ones that are actually feeling this cold air. Whenever it is moving through, it's going to have an impact on a lot of the U.S. So going into Monday morning, you can see just all of that Arctic air covering majority of the U.S. As we go into Tuesday morning, that Arctic air is pushing off towards the East Coast, making even down in Florida, look at that, Tampa is going to be at 37 degrees Tuesday morning. That is really cold for Florida. Once it gets below about those mid 40s, the iguanas they have in the trees down in Florida, they do start falling out of the trees because they go into a bit of a survival mode because of how cold it is. So they have to watch out for that. Thankfully, though, it does start to warm back up once we get more into the week. Download the Cake First Alert weather app. You can track all the winds, the temperatures, the radar, everything just right there in the app. You also get weather updates within there that gives you your video forecast so you can watch at any time. As we go throughout the day today, those clouds kind of clearing out, still staying cold. We're clear overnight tonight, starting out clear tomorrow morning, but I just showed you those feels like temperatures. It is going to be a very cold start. Throughout the day on Monday, we see a lot of sunshine. That wind is going to shift and start coming out of the south. We're going to slowly start to warm up. Right now, though, 20s and 30s across majority of the state, putting the wind right behind that, feeling like the teens and 20s across majority of the state. So you already need that jacket. Those highs today getting up into those 40s. Some of us in Southwest Kansas looking at the 50s. But it'll mainly feel like those 30s and 40s throughout the day. And tonight, those lows getting down into the teens and 20s. And then it's going to feel colder than that starting tomorrow morning. Now, South Central Kansas, the next 7 days, you keep the 40s tomorrow. 60s arrive on Tuesday, and then the 70s come back just in time for the weekend. In fact, the weekend is looking really nice temperature-wise. We might have to watch the wind, though, as we're going into next weekend. Taking a look at North Central Kansas, keeping the 40s going into tomorrow, 60s on Tuesday. Those 70s start to arrive on Friday and linger into the weekend. Southwest Kansas, you guys are going to warm up to the 50s tomorrow. Then you get the 70s for the rest of the week. So that cold air really does not stick around long for you guys. In Northwest Kansas, you get the 60s tomorrow, and then you'll get the 60s and the 70s going throughout the rest of the week. So just got to get past Monday morning and the whole state starts to warm up. Looking really nice, but I'm not a big fan of the up and down that we have because it's like I just get used to those nice 60s and 70s, and then you have a day like today where it's going to feel like 30 degrees.
Right.
That's not fun.
My mom always calls it fake fall. She's like, you get out of the house, you think you're freezing cold. By the time you get back, you're just way too hot.
Like, do you turn on the heat? Do you turn on the AC? Like, heat today and tomorrow, but then the rest of the week, gotta have the AC back.
Well, in Florida, it sounds like they need umbrellas for those falling iguanas.
Yeah,
so
they gotta watch out for all of those.
Welcome back. Thanks for being here. You see the words on the screen, tornado in a bottle. It's something we've talked about for, it feels like a couple of weeks, maybe months at this point. Hannah, you go out to classrooms and you talk to kids, and it's easy to show them demonstrations to kind of give them an idea of what weather is like, especially when it comes to tornadoes. So I've been saying for a while that I want to see how this is done. The perfect way and perfect time to do it, especially with severe weather on the way as well. Feels a little stormy outside. So tell us about the tornado in a bottle.
Well, whenever I go to the classrooms to talk to kids, you know, kind of showing them one of the scarier things of severe weather in a kind of a controlled setting kind of makes things a little bit easier. So I kind of always say, like, these are the tornadoes we like because they stay in the bottle and they don't destroy anything. So I'll kind of demonstrate how this happens. What you do is you flip it over, and I usually tell the kids whenever I have it flipped over, that's just your regular thunderstorm. You don't have that spin in the atmosphere just yet, but once you get the spin going, you start to see a tornado in a bottle, basically. So you kind of need that spin in that thunderstorm to create that tornado. That's kind of just the simplified, broke down version of how that kind of happens. But these are really easy to make at home.
And that's what we're going to demonstrate also. That's what we got all these to do if you want to do this at home. So, all right, what do I have to do here?